Hi, hello. I'm Dr. K. Pungudi, Assistant Professor in Department of Commerce. Now we are going to discuss about the discharge of contract. So, discharge of contract in the subject commercial law. Here, the discharge of contract means we are having a discharge means termination of a contract or an obligations. Here we are having one we have discussed about what is contract, what are the essential elements, performance of a contract and consideration, again free consent, all those things. Now we are going into so here we are having each and every contract is not going to be end with a full-fledged or a full promise over here. So everything is smoothly and done means it's easy to do. But if anything happens, so here we are having that is a discharge. So we are having a discharge of contract over here. So it is not compulsion to do everything. Every contract must be fulfilled, and if we are not satisfied with their contract means easily we can terminate our contract by the different reasons. We are having a discharging of our contract over here. So discharge of contract means termination of a contract actually or an obligation. Once a contract is discharged, the parties are not longer legally bounded to perform their promise. Here the mode of discharge of contract, a contract may be discharged in a different ways over here. So now we are going to discuss about the discharge of a contract. A contract may be discharged or break over here. So first one is discharge by performance. Here the discharge by performance means the first in under this we are having two subheadings. The first one is actual performance and the second one is attempted performance. Actual performance means when both the party performs their respective promise completely, that is known as actual performance. In attempted performance, when one party offers to perform but another party refuses to accept it, so that is known as attempted performance. So in an actual performance, a goods delivered to B and B pays the agreed price to A. So that is known as actual performance. In B, here we are in attempted performance, we are having an example over here. A offers to deliver goods on a due date but B refuses to accept them. So that is known as attempted over here. So this comes under discharge of performance. Next thing is discharge by mutual agreement. Here the discharge by mutual agreements means we are having a different formation over here. The first thing is that novation. Here the novation means replacing the old order with a new one, entire or either between same parties or by the different parties. So that is known as novation. So next one is rescission. In this rescission means cancelling the contract by a mutual agreement. Here both the parties mutually agreed to cancel their contract. So that is known as rescission. So rescission. Next thing is alteration. Here the alteration means from the word itself we can understand that changing one or more terms of contract with a mutual consent. So that is known as alteration. Next thing is remission. Remission means acceptance of less performance than agreed. Here if we are accepting one thing but they performed less, so that is known as a remission. Here we can give a best example for this. Accepting 8,000 instead of 10,000. We are accepting expected 10,000 but they instead of that they are giving an 8,000 over here. So our expectation is more but they given less. So this is an example for remission. And the next one is waiver. Here the one party voluntarily gives up their rights over here. So that is known as waiver. The next thing is discharge by impossibility of performance. Here the impossibility of performance means when one person becomes impossible or unlawful. Initial impossibility at the time of formation itself, it is also known as contract is void ab initio. The next thing is supervising impossibility. Here becomes impossible after forming a due over here, that is known as supervising impossibility. The next thing is discharge by lapse of time. Here the lapse of time means if a contract is performed within the prescribed limited period, it is an unenforceable. A debts not claimed within a limited period. So this is an example for discharge by lapse of time. Everything should be done within the time period. After the time period or a lapse of time happens over here means the discharge of contract will make a lapse of time over here. So each and every contract should have a minimum and maximum period over there. So within that minimum and maximum period, everyone have to do their contract or a promise within the performance of a specified period. Next thing is discharge by operation of law. In this discharge by operation of law, here we are having a discharge occurred due to automatically a legal reason. Because of legal reason, if anything happens due to that, if we are making an operation of law is discharged or terminated over here. The first thing is death of a party or an insolvency, merger of a rights or unauthorized alteration of terms. These are all comes under the discharge of operation of law. The next thing is discharge of breach of contract. In this breach of contract, we are having two different types of breach of contract. The first one is actual breach of contract and the second one is anticipatory. So actual breach of contract means occurs on or after the due date of performance. So that is known as actual performance. Anticipatory means occurs before the due date when the party refused to perform. So that is known as anticipatory breach of contract. Here we are having a different effects of discharge of contract. Parties are released from obligations. Rights already occurred remain enforceable. Compensation may be claimed in the case of breach of contract. So I hope you all understand about the discharge of contract under the different headings. The first one is by performance, the next one is mutual agreement, the third one is lapse of time, and then fourth one is impossibility, next to that operation of law and breach of contract. So these are all the different discharge of a contract over here. Thank you.